The Nero the Assassin finale opens with Perla narrating over this hunting montage, talking about how she wants her grave to say she lived in a land where it no longer rained, that the tyrants had won, but they were still standing. She's losing hope as she and the others have been stuck in the slums of Ségur for 10 days, hiding from the penitents, starving, exhausted, and cornered. She says she went down the darkest paths just to keep hope alive. Then she cuts her hand and lets her blood drip to the ground, and it moves like it's alive, meaning her blood is tied to something supernatural. The penitents announce a massive bounty for whoever captures the so-called devil's spawn, meaning Perla and the prince. Horus, who's been one of their allies, ends up getting caught. The leader of the penitents puts on a whole show, preaching that the drought is God's punishment, that the devil corrupted their land, and that killing Horus is part of their repentance. But Horus shouts that the church is lying, that there is no devil, just manipulation and fear. He's executed right in front of everyone. When the crowd turns on Perla next, Nero cuts down penitents and saves her. Perla tells him what Horus said, that maybe there is no devil at all, but that only confuses her more, because if the devil doesn't exist, then what was the one-eyed witch talking about? Nero just brushes it off, saying all that mystical crap died with the woman. While the rebels try to regroup, the prince admits defeat. He thinks there is no way to win, the penitents are too powerful, and the people are too scared. Thibaut, on the other hand, wants to fight back. He says the people are ready to rise up if someone just gives them a reason. He believes the prince could be that spark, but the prince refuses, saying it would be suicide. With barely 50 soldiers and a starving population, they wouldn't last a day. Meanwhile, the archbishop is furious at Brother Penance for letting Perla escape. Their argument gets intense. Penance admits he doesn't even believe in the devil anymore, calling the church's whole crusade a lie. The archbishop mocks him, calling him weak and godless. Back with the rebels, Nicholas's daughter Hortense stops Lothar from killing her father. Nicholas tries to talk his way out of it by offering a plan. He claims there is a secret passage into the citadel. The prince says it's real, but warns it's basically suicide. That's when Hortense steps up. She says if the people see her, the supposed princess of Ségur, leading the charge, they'll rise. She's tired of running and wants to fight. Nero thinks she's insane. She's not even a real princess. But Thibaut kneels and pledges himself to her, saying he'd die by her side, and the rest follow. In that moment, Hortense becomes their symbol, the face of the rebellion. Nero's furious but helpless. Hortense tells him he doesn't have to stay, that she knows he doesn't believe in their cause. He tells her hope is dangerous, but she's not backing down. The plan is set. The night before the mission, Hortense admits she's scared. Nero softens, telling her she's the reason people are ready to fight, not because of her title, but because she gives them something to believe in. They share a kiss, but he also confesses something feels off about Nicholas's plan. The secret passage sounds too perfect, too convenient. He doesn't trust it, but by morning, it's too late. When they reach the cemetery, it's a trap. The penitents are everywhere. Someone betrayed them. Lothar even gets a note from Nero to be opened after he leaves. Nero yells for Hortense to run to Lamartine to survive and raise an army, but she refuses. That's when Nicholas drops the bomb. He tells Hortense that Nero betrayed them, that he sabotaged the plan because he didn't want her to die. And in a twisted way, he's not wrong. The note Lothar opens says evacuate everyone. Nero admits he warned them, saying it was suicide anyway. Hortense feels completely betrayed. He was supposed to be their hero, and instead he became their coward. Nero argues that saving her was worth more than any rebellion. To him, love comes before revolution. As chaos erupts, Perla is captured. Nero disguises himself as one of the penitents and sneaks in to rescue her. He kills several guards and even stabs Brother Penance, but gets overwhelmed when Perla sees her father tied up and tortured. Something inside her clicks. She remembers what the one-eyed witch said, that only she could save them. Perla takes a knife and stabs herself in the chest. Her blood spills onto the ground and thunder cracks. Lightning strikes, and for the first time in forever, it starts to rain. The drought that defined this cursed world is finally over. The penitents believe it's a miracle from God. Nero crawls to Perla, holding her body and sobbing as the rain washes over them. The archbishop realizes the truth. It wasn't God who ended the drought. It was Perla. Her blood, her sacrifice, caused the rain. She was the devil's spawn, but not in the way they thought. Brother Penance, blinded by faith, refuses to believe it. The Archbishop mocks him, and Penance finally loses it, shoving him off an edge to his death. Perla's narration returns. She says the penitents won and her loved ones are probably gone, but for a short time, the orphan she once was got to feel what it's like to have a family. She hopes her grave will read, "Her name was Perla, daughter of an assassin and a whore." In the final scene, a hooded figure, maybe the one-eyed witch, knocks Nero out and takes Perla's body away. Then we hear Perla's voice again, and she was the last witch. Her eyes snap open, and the screen cuts to black.